Anggy Diaz was born in Nicaragua, where she grew up as the eldest child in her family. From a young age, she carried responsibility, helping caring for her siblings and supporting her family however she could. Those who knew her described her as hardworking, soft-spoken, and deeply loyal to the people she loved. Eventually, Angie moved to Texas, chasing stability and opportunity. She worked long hours, sometimes multiple jobs, sending money home and trying to build a future that felt secured. Friends say she dreamed of settling down, starting a family, and finally feeling safe after years of struggle. Jared James Dicus was born and raised in Waller County, Texas. He grew up in a rural area outside Magnolia, living on property owned by his family. People who knew him described him as quiet, reserved, and socially withdrawn. He didn't have a long romantic history and often kept to himself. Angie and Jared met while working at the same local butcher shop. At first, the relationship seemed ordinary. Two young coworkers growing close, but to people around them, the relationship moved quickly. Within months, they were inseparable. In October 2022, Angie and Jared got married. The wedding was small and simple. Some friends felt uneasy about how fast everything happened, but Angie appeared hopeful. She believed marriage would bring stability and a fresh start. Behind closed doors, however, the relationship was not calm. According to later reports, there had been arguments and prior disturbances at the home. Still, no one imagined how violently things would end. In January 2023, just 4 months after their wedding, Angie suddenly went missing. When she failed to respond to calls and didn't return home, concerns quickly escalated. Law enforcement was sent to the property where the couple lived. Inside their residence, officers made a horrifying discovery. Angie was found dead, the victim of extreme violence. The crime was so severe it shocked even seasoned investigators. Discovery made by Jared's own father, who lived on the same property, and he immediately called authorities. Jared was taken into custody without resistance. Investigators later revealed that after killing his wife, he was seen on surveillance footage calmly walking into a convenience store, taking a beer without paying for it, by the way, and drinking it in the parking lot, a moment that prosecutors would later describe as chilling.
Well, family and friends identified the victim as 21-year-old Anggy Diaz. They say she's from Nicaragua. She was here working 2 jobs, helping pay for her mother's cancer treatment back at home. Now her friends and family tell us they're heartbroken that she's gone. 21-year-old Anggy Diaz was described as a happy young woman full of joy. Her co-workers say she was always smiling and a very hard worker. That is why when she didn't show up to work for her shift on Wednesday, they began to worry, and their suspicions weren't wrong. Waller County Sheriff's Office found her decapitated in her home.
Portion of a body dismembered, and a residence that was covered in blood. It's a gruesome scene at best.
Investigators believe her husband killed her with a kitchen knife at around 11 a.m. on Wednesday.
At this stage, we do have a confession, but it is still under further investigation.
Angie's body wasn't found until after 4 p.m. by investigators. This after the suspect's father, who lives in a nearby home on the same property, called police.
He left his residence, walked into the parents' residence, which induced them questioning where she was, and they went out back and found her.
The case moved swiftly through the legal system. In 2024, Jared pleaded guilty to the murder of Anggy Diaz. He was sentenced to 40 years in Texas State Prison with parole eligibility decades in the future. For Angie's family, the sentence brought accountability, but not closure. Nothing would bring her back. Angie was remembered as a young woman full of promise, whose life was cut short just as she believed she was building something lasting. Her family mourned not only her death, but the future she never had the chance to live. Now we're fast forwarding into January 2026. Another development stunned the public. Jared James Dicus was found dead in his prison cell at the Wainwright unit in Texas. Authorities said he was discovered hanging in a single-person cell. Emergency responders attempted life-saving measures, but he was pronounced dead later that night. Official reports say there were no signs of foul play, and his death was officially ruled a suicide, which is pending final medical confirmation at the moment. With his death, the legal chapter of the case closed, but the emotional impact remained. This case stands as a reminder of how quickly relationships can turn dangerous, how warning signs are often visible until it's too late, and how domestic violence can exist even in places that appears quiet and ordinary. Anggy Diaz's story is not just about how she died. It's about who she was and what she hoped for, and the life she deserved to live but was unfortunately taken from her.